Stephen A. Smith, who wins tonight?
Well, I picked San Francisco to win this World Series in 7 games, and I'm going to stick to that prediction. I think that, look, I'm worried. There's no question about it. That crowd is going to be electric. Obviously, Kansas City doesn't have to go up against Bumgarner to start the game. We got to hope that Hudson can handle his business and ward them off. You've got to go into the 7th inning with a lead. Herrera, Davis, Holland, you don't want any parts of these boys if you're the San Francisco Giants in the last 3 innings. They've got 3 closers, for crying out loud, in Kansas City. You've got to go into the 7th inning with a lead. And Hudson's going to have to be able to give you something early to hold it down. Bumgarner, I believe, will make an appearance in this game, Skip. He's been absolutely dominant. If they win, he will be the World Series MVP. There's no doubt about that. But it's one of those situations that, considering the fact that he just pitched in Game 5, a complete game shutout, you don't want him to be back on such short rest and really jeopardize him if you're the Giants, because you got to think about his future. But it is Game 7. It is all hands on deck. You have a World Series title on the line. And if Hudson can give you 3 or 4 strong innings and hold it down, then I think it's very, very possible that you could see Bumgarner and we'll go from there. But I think that San Francisco, they're not going to get shut down. The last 2 games have been a shutout. Game 5 was a shutout for San Fran. Game 6 was a shutout for Kansas City. I think both teams are going to score a few runs in this particular Game 7. But in the end, it's just going to be a matter of whether you have to go to Bumgarner and you're going to be able to hold it down for a couple of innings and make sure you go into the 7th inning with the lead. Because if San Francisco doesn't have a lead in the 7th inning and you get to that bullpen for the Kansas City Royals, it's a wrap. I'm still picking San Francisco, though, to win this game. I'll even give you a score. I think they'll win like 4-3.
It sounds to me, my friend, like you're beginning to doubt your baseball advisor in California. I forget his name.
Jeff Brown.
Jeff Brown. Are you beginning to doubt
Jeff Brown,
the knowledge he bestowed on you before this series?
Him and my dad. Let's not forget my pops. Let's not forget pops. But I got to tell you, I did. Listen, they have me worried because, listen, it's really about Bumgarner, and that's not what I heard. My boy Jeff, I got to get on him on national television. He did believe in PV. I did not. Okay, but he convinced me to believe in PV. So I'm knocking Jeff for that. Jeff Brown. Yes, that's his name.
10-0 last night was a resounding statement by the team that now gets to play, as Kerry points out, a home Game 7. So I'm going to stick with what I told you before this series started. The Royals will win in 7 games, and it has something to do with that crazy thing called destiny, meant to be-ness. I don't know what it is. This team just has it. And I love what Ned Yost keeps saying. It's not that he's being blatantly optimistic or too positive here. He's just saying, I've had this feeling from the start. He's pouring his heart out to the media, saying, this is just what I've believed all along. I thought we were going to win tonight because I thought we'd get to Game 7 and we would win it. So I love the feeling he's instilling in his clubhouse with a lot of young players who have not been in this situation before, unlike a number of the Giants who have been in this situation. But I'm going to make one case to you, and I want you to respond to me if you would. I think your Giants that you picked have only one hope tonight, one chance, and that is to start Madison Bumgarner from the start. Starting from the start. There's a huge way here. If you're going to make Madison Bumgarner come out of the bullpen in the 4th or 5th inning and throw him in cold into a situation he has never experienced and ask him to put out a fire instead of start from the start, that's just wrong. That's just as dangerous to me as starting him. I would just close my eyes, start him if he tells me I feel 100% okay, and I would let him see if he could get to the 4th or the 5th and get me to my bullpen, because that's the only hope you have.
Well, first of all, let me say this to you, Skip Bayless. Let me use a basketball analogy. Do you remember a couple of years ago when Ray Allen drilled that three-pointer, sent it into overtime, and the San Antonio Spurs ultimately lost that game?
Forever forgotten that moment.
Well, let me explain. If San Antonio, to me, had gotten blown out in that game, I believe they would have won Game 7. It was the fact that it was so close that you had spent everything, that you had basically emptied the chamber to some degree, proverbially speaking, okay? What happened is that even though you were highly competitive and you almost won Game 7, I do believe had you not expended so much in Game 6, you probably would have won Game 7. I think the fact that Kansas City annihilated San Francisco last night and did it as early as the second inning, I think that bodes well for for San Francisco tonight. I think the fact that Kansas City won 10-0, that it wasn't a nail biter, that they ran away with it inside of the first 2 innings, that Jake Peavy couldn't even last 2 innings. I think that bodes well for San Fran tonight in Game 7. And that's exactly why I wouldn't start Bumgarner. I wouldn't start him.
What happened to Tim Hudson when he started Game 3 at home in San Francisco? What happened? He lost.
That's fair.
He lost to Jeremy Guthrie, who's pitching tonight.
But what did he lose by, Skip?
He lost.
What was the final score?
3-2.
Was it 3-2?
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah.
He went 5 2/3 and gave up 3 earned runs. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not a bad performance. That's not a bad performance. He didn't get smacked around like Peavy did last night.
Yep.
All right, Game 7 tonight, ladies and gentlemen.